Welcome to a very special episode of Neatening Technology.
Yep.
So with me today we have Chris, Dillan and myself, Justin, here in the HDANYWHERE studio, Malvern, UK. And we are beyond excited. Not just because Christmas is around the corner, but because we have got something amazing to talk about today.
The uControl remote.
uControl remote.
Which is a brand new product from HDANYWHERE in a brand new category. What would you call the category? There's some debate about it. I like the word universal remote, but Dillan doesn't like the term universal.
No, I'm with Dillan on that, I think.
No, it does a little more than when you say universal remote. You think like a learning remote or something.
No,
like
you
that.
think about learning remote. I don't necessarily think. I'm just.
I think the wider public probably would think of it as but it could do a lot more than that, which is
Yeah.
a companion remote for M-Hub is probably a good way of putting it, I think.
Where should we start? Press release has gone out.
Yep.
People now know this is what we're doing.
Yep. It was
Catches out
sort
the
of
bag.
a big secret that kind of wasn't a secret. I think people have been coming to us for years at IC shows and other shows saying, I like your app, but it'd be really nice if you made a physical remote. And we'd be like, that is a good idea.
Yeah. This is probably the most requested product we're making so far.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
So let's just do a brief summary for those people that don't want to listen beyond 5 minutes of us not talking. It has 44 buttons.
That is right. Loads of buttons.
It has a OLED
Display. That's right.
so it's not full color.
Single color OLED display.
Yeah.
And it only shows you the information that you need to see. Bit like a normal remote control.
So that bucks a trend a bit.
Yep. We haven't included things like security, heating, all that other stuff in there. It's really focused on serving AV first.
Yep. It's got these buttons at the top here. I don't know, maybe we could do a cutaway or a zoom in on the single dot, double dot, triple dot, quadruple dot
Yep.
buttons at the top.
That is to execute sequences, which other people call macros. Or functions,
Scenes is another
scenes. Like you could think of it as an IP or any sort of assignable trigger to do pretty much anything that you want in the room. So adjust the mood control, change the lighting, turn things on and off, pull brackets out. You could do a lot with those buttons.
They can be the most used popular things you do in that space.
Yeah, for instance, turning on a lamp in my living room. If it's a bit dark or something like that.
But also because we expect them to be the most used, that was why you put them near the top of the remote.
And everything's kind of within the reach of my thumb.
Ergonomically designed.
I have got quite big thumbs, mind you.
You are a goalkeeper and your hands are absolutely massive, so it's making the remote look really small, which is why you're holding. Which is why you're holding it.
But it's got numerical buttons, so some people memorize the channel numbers and just go straight there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got red, green, yellow, blue. It's got a navigation wheel or circle.
Fairly common with other remotes. That sort of is a bit of a must-have as interfaces move on to the display.
It's got a nice click to it.
It has got. I'm trying to make it a little softer. Yeah.
Click.
I'm trying. Yeah, it's a little
It's like
too.
when you're counting people into the venue.
It's a little too poppy. It's a little too
for
pronounced.
Our keynote, note itself.
Yeah, the revised version was going to have a bit more softer.
It's thin.
Clicky
It's
thumb.
very slender.
13 millimeters. Yeah, it's
13?
Really, yeah,
I've been telling the people it's 12.
12, 13. Yeah, it's around about there. It depends whether or not you count the very bottom. But it's
some of the buttons protrude a little bit more than the others.
So yeah, if you look at the D-pad, we've designed it so that it captures your thumb. So they sort of curve upwards a little bit, which
So it's like a bowl.
it keeps your thumb in that main middle area.
And you've spent so many hours on the design of this thing.
Yeah, a long time.
A lot of healthy debate.
Yeah,
Sometimes brutal arguments.
yeah, quite a lot of arguments over its design. And then you'll come in like a wrecking ball,
Yes.
Miley Cyrus style, just like
No, we're not doing that now.
I don't like these buttons in this arrangement.
No.
It needs to be changed. And we'll be like, oh,
Well, a
right.
good example of that is the name of the thing.
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For several, maybe years, it wasn't called the uControl remote.
No. It was called Buttons,
Yeah.
which I still like the name.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I still like Buttons. It sounds cute.
Yeah.
And
Well, it became the secret
Chris is
project
known
name.
for products that are named after what they do. And the uControl remote is pretty much... Yeah, it does what it says it does. So.
Exactly.
They'll probably call it the HDANYWHERE remote, being honest. I did do some research into the most popular, and there is an article, if you Google it, the most popular names for remote controls that people use in the UK.
Right.
And there were names like, I think Doofer is one of them.
My family used to call it the change. Pass the change.
Yeah, the changer, the controller,
If you're old enough, we had the clicker.
Clicker.
the dooflapper, the whatchamacallit,
Everyone's got a name
the
for it.
thingamajig.
Yeah. And if you go back far enough,
Yeah.
you know, like kids of the 80s and 70s and stuff, you'd be like, yeah. You end up being the remote control.
Yeah, you were
My
the
dad would be like, go change a channel. Literally walk over. That's pretty smart, or not so smart, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, went through a lot of design iterations. We could probably touch on that a bit later on.
What's this thing? There's,
Yeah, so
that's a big one.
there is IR on the remote, which is again something we don't see on many other types of
No.
remote in this category. And there's IR learning on there too. So you not only will be able to transmit an IR code, you'll also be able to learn it and send that code into our cloud and have that turned into a uControl pack. So for territories where it's a little bit difficult for us to get hold of IR codes or some sort of difficult device, you can learn that on site, send it into the cloud, turn it into a uControl pack. It's now available on Alexa. It's now available on...
So uControl packs, then,
anywhere.
for people who don't know, are the little files that are
That's
comprised of all the commands and codes that control that device.
That's correct.
Using that device's original remote control.
Yep,
Plus an interface design,
that's right.
or in now with the remote button mapping.
Yep.
To those commands. Another big question most people ask about remotes is battery life.
The battery life we're looking at the moment is about a week, at least a week, maybe. We're trying to get it longer than a week without having to charge. It's designed to be very instantly on, like very quickly. It should respond. It should respond even when it's sitting idle.
And
And
how
so-
do we charge it?
Yeah.
Either wirelessly or USB at the bottom.
Okay.
And it has a replaceable battery too.
So wireless charging mats can be used.
Yeah,
I haven't got one here, but just leave it on the wireless charging mat and it'll charge up.
that's correct. And that was another decision that we made in terms of the product design, because
stakeholder decision.
you can have a charging mat on your a coffee table or right next to you. It's up to you how you want to style that.
The thing is, when you if you've got a coffee table or a little book stand or
Yep.
whatever,
Exactly.
you might choose a mat that fits in with the decor of the room.
That's
Like, so
exactly why we've
it
done
could be
it.
a black mat, grey mat,
Yeah,
Bamboo.
bamboo.
yeah.
If you're into bamboo, you can get bamboo charging mats. Now, I think.
That is the idea behind it.
Or like a picture of the king.
Yep, whatever you want is what I'm trying to say.
There's so many different variations of wireless
Exactly.
charging.
For the record, we don't supply the charging mat, and we definitely don't supply any with pictures.
Yeah, you're not
of the
going to
king
get
on it.
the king or a bamboo mat. No, it's up to you
Yeah.
how you wish to charge that.
Also, I think it's worth mentioning, we haven't spoken about this, it just does come up, is the remote itself talks to our system over Wi-Fi.
That's right.
So that is important, because we're not having to point it anywhere to get it to talk to an M-Hub, get it to talk to its own processor. So its core capability is really
Yeah,
wireless connectivity on the existing network and an infrared output, because so many integrators asked for it. So many integrators are saying the biggest problem with control brands is we don't have this IR on the remote. That opens up a lot of possibilities for them.
Yeah. So, to recap, it's a Wi-Fi remote that pairs with an M Hub or ZP,
That's right.
and it becomes I'm going to use it, universal remote control in each zone, or the zones you want the remote control in.
You can assign it to us at any old zone.
That controls the technology in that zone.
Yeah.
TV, speakers,
Lights.
Shades, PDUs.
Yeah.
Amazing. Can you use them alongside other brands of remotes? So maybe say in some rooms I might have an existing system and I'm happy with the remotes on the existing system. Can I add this remote to lesser used zones or rooms?
Yep, you can. Yeah, really easily.
So run the two systems in parallel.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Say for example, I have Crestron Control 4 ELAN system existing in my property.
Right, gotcha.
But in my conservatory,
Yep.
which I don't have.
Yeah.
Imagine I did. In my conservatory, I don't have a remote currently. I just use the existing, like it's the remote that came with the TV and stuff. Could
you do it?
A uControl remote have a uControl remote in one room and my Crestron Control 4 remote in another room?
Yeah, you could. As far as the M Hub and UOS and our software is concerned, it's just the remote in a room.
Yeah. So anyone who's out there who's currently got uControl in their home, I can think of a few.
Yeah, there's a few.
If they've got that at the moment, the remote is an easy add-on for them.
Yeah. All M Hubs purchased any time now, even going back 6-7 months, are remote ready. They'll support the remote immediately, maybe with a small update that is required. For older M Hubs, maybe a bridging update is required, but so that you can get to the software level that is required for the remote. But that stretches back all the way to 26, like almost released. Oh, Justin,
Sorry.
To the release of the M Hub from the X event.
So basically, any M Hub with uControl ever.
Yeah, it's pretty big news that, onto us.
That's a big deal to an integrator who's got 30, 40, 50, 100 clients out there who've already got M Hubs.
Yep.
With uControl is the ability to go back to them and go, would you like a remote with that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that feedback that we relied on from integrators came from those guys and those girls being told by their clients, don't we have a remote?
Yeah.
Now we were able to say, just do a quick update.
Yep.
And that 5-year-old M Hub installation of yours, give the client a call.
Yep, you can go back to site, spec a remote.
We went on a trip overseas, you and I, and it was a trip that was really focused on expanding uControl to be a better app-based control system.
That was it, yeah.
There wasn't any other agenda on that trip, really, other than that. But then come the end of the trip, it was really, how can I put this? I just got it in my head that I actually think with the group of people we'd met on that trip, maybe we could stretch our ambitions a little bit more and try and make physical remote, which we had never countenanced. We'd always been like, we have to work with someone else.
Which is what everybody else does, right?
And we had meetings with like big American companies that make the remotes for most people. And the cost of entry to that, it was so expensive. We're talking £1 million minimum, wasn't it? And it was just like, this is, for a little company in Malvern, we wouldn't be able to do that. So, it was so far out of our thought process about doing remote. But after this particular trip overseas, we were on the plane on the way back, and I managed to find a picture that we took. Luckily, I was just sort of a frequent social media poster.
Yep.
So I've managed to find it, and it was 2nd of March 2019 on a flight back from overseas where we were like, I reckon we should try and manufacture our own remote.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember because I was sitting next to you, and then I doodled the remote on the plane, and then that was really the journey starting, which led to this remote control. And that first doodle it looked more like what you're expecting from the big players today, and through a lot of I feel like we were onto this right from the beginning, that people want buttons. They definitely didn't want
our first design was an Android based kind of touch screen at the top, because effectively uControl app with some hard buttons underneath.
Yeah.
But it's evolved a lot since then.
Yeah, it's actually what we did was we became very strict on what it was that we wanted the remote to be good at doing.
Yeah.
And what we want the remote to be good at doing is controlling your TV, your volume, and the mood of the room that you're in. And it doesn't give you any nonsense and or anything like that. There's no learning curve with this remote control. You just pass it to someone, and you'd be like, turn your TV on, and they'll be able to do that. And there's no screen to interact with. There's nothing. Like, there is a screen on this remote, but it's there really only to tell you, if you've got amplified audio, what the volume level is, or if you've got an M hub attached, what source you're likely to be on when you turn the TV on. Other than that, the information on the remote is
minimalist.
Yeah, we've purposely we started off. I think in the first design, remember, Chris, you wanted it to speak to you.
Yeah.
Like that.
Why are you laughing?
I
didn't know that. That's why I'm
honestly, Chris's first, so what we did was we went full circle.
You should have started with this.
We like, hello remote. Like,
hello Chris. How are you today?
The first version of the one that we doodled on the plane did look like some of the big players, their remote controls, big screen, lots of information on screen, very high quality graphics, all that sort of stuff. We could
select your RGBW.
Yeah, who does that? Yeah, just select out your 16 million colours. Yeah. No one does that. So we started off like that, but that's because everyone was doing that at that period in time. And then we started to refine it and think more deeply about what it was that the remote was supposed to do. And then we went from big screen, high quality graphics, high resolution graphics, to no screen.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was a period where, that's where we had one of those shouty moments. Like, but we did take that concept quite far. We just determined that it wasn't right for us for supporting M Hub. Yeah, from there we went to a more workable model. I might as well show that.
There it is.
Yeah, this is the first.
I think that's made from an old
Essential Install magazine.
Is it? No, this is thicker than that.
Oh, it's definitely one of the magazines.
Definitely one. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
it's
but
got a matte finish.
I needed something sturdy. But we took that and then we added more buttons to it. And if you look at it, it's not too far. I don't know if you can see. It's not too far away. It's the same width, same dimension. Yeah. But this is pretty old. I'm surprised it survived this long. But that's just a piece of paper with a 2D drawing on it.
Some 3D prints there.
Yeah, and you can see we start to refine the design more. So we must have come to some conclusion that we didn't want a single row OLED, and we wanted a multi-row OLED.
Yeah.
And then we put together a fully 3D printed model of the remote there. And this is where we did a lot of the software testing and proof of concept and whether or not the buttons feel right and stuff. And then we've gone to a pre-production sample or prototype. And this one's working. We have several of these downstairs. And it'll be working at ISC, so you'll be able to interact with the remote, pick it up, and use this at ISC and see it in action.
That's a good point. We need to talk about that more.
Yeah.
Listeners, come to ISC.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Booth Q2... 3Q200.
That's it,
3Q200.
Yeah. 3Q200.
3Q200.
It's so big.
We
Like,
are
what's that mean?
this. I mean, this is Chris made this point very validly, but this is an interesting ISE because uControl remote is so important that LG have placed their booth near us.
Yeah. Yep. They'd be like, that remote looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
The remote for me is a symbol of the ambition of the company.
And the
because-
passion.
Yeah.
We believe in this. We believe it's going to make a difference.
I totally believe, based on what we've been told from direct feedback over the years, it's what we should be doing. But it's been a difficult decision because you're basically saying, bet the house on this.
Yeah.
So this is a product we've bet the house on.
It's not the first time you've done that, though.
No, you're not at all.
I mean, this is why it was so worth moving my family 12,000 kilometers, is we will, at HD Anywhere, take these moonshots.
Yeah. I'm
So-
excited.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It's kind of like a nervous excitement.
What are we going to see? What if you come to IC? What will we see when we go visit our stand? Conveniently next to LG.
You're going to see a load of working demonstrations.
That's
You're going
right.
to be able to come and pick the remote up and...
Off its bamboo charging pad.
we got... yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
controlling a lava lamp?
Yeah.
Different. Sorry.
Oh yeah, this is the other thing that Chris wants to control,
Yes,
a lava lamp, and I'm like, this is not a good use of demonstration ability here. Like,
Yeah, well...
but beyond that, you'll be able to control the display, control the sources that are connected to the M Hub. You'll be able to control the amplified volume of that display, so that instead of the audio coming out of the TV speakers, it'll be coming out of separate speakers in 2 zones. You'll be able to do that. In the second zone, the amplified audio will be playing some music from a streaming system, and you'll be able to control the music too. So you'll be able to move, pause the music there, move to the next track, that sort of stuff, the sort of stuff that you'd expect to do from a remote control. You will be able to pull down some blinds or shades, and we will make our LED lights do a little dance, and they will be controlled. Well, their backbone will be Rayco, Lutron, and KNX, all from the one remote. So we're going to be showing off quite a lot of stuff in a very short amount of space, and everything linchpinned by the remote control. And the remote will be doing all of that, but you can choose to control any of those things from any of our controlling interfaces. So that's the Alexa, Apple Watch, key panels, app, and our remote.
Yeah.
So that's quite a lot of stuff that we can show you.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time for us as a company. There's lots going on here at HQ, Barcelona, for ISE, around the world. We'll be hitting the road to visit distributors and different markets this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a busy old time ahead.
Yep.
This changes everything.
Yeah.
This changes everything.
This
So
will change
we should
everything.
probably talk about that headline a bit.
Yep.
This changes everything. What a, some people might say,
What does it change?
yeah,
Yeah.
who the hell do they think they are?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
just putting a remote control with an
Wankers.
M-Hub. What do you do?
That is an
Well, no.
audacious claim.
We would be...
Yeah.
This changes everything. Well, it's a play on words. It's a changer.
Yep.
It changes things when you press a button. So it's meant to be clever in that respect. It changes our business model.
Yep.
It changes our whole user experience.
That's right.
Changes our value to integrators.
Yep.
So certainly from our perspective, a single SKU for us does change everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll argue that till the cows come home.
Yeah. It you know, for integrators and customers, I think it is a big deal because anyone who's set up uControl in the past will know that if I wanted to deploy an 8-zone AV controlled M hub, takes about 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe max. So once you've done that, let's say 30 minutes, you've downloaded the packs, you then add the remote, the app will walk you through it. You literally go, this is the living room remote, and the app will then transfer the data to the remote, and your remote is ready to go within seconds of doing that. And why is that important? Well, one, you didn't really need either low or minimal to nearly no training involved to deploy that, and the speed is like really, really fast.
Yeah.
Very,
So
very
less time on site, which means less budget wasted on setup.
Yep.
More budget and time applied to where it's needed. Better quality loudspeakers, better televisions, all of that kind of thing. Plus, you can fit more HDANYWHERE uControl projects into a 12-month calendar period because you're just doing them faster.
And hopefully people out there will begin to think of ourselves slightly
Well,
differently.
this is it. The remote and the uControl capabilities and our zone processors, merge that all together. We do have the ability to offer that 1 to 3% spend on technology
without the controls.
without the complexity and cost of the control system.
The biggie is that you don't need the control system.
Yeah.
You know, you visit most luxury properties and stuff. Audio is generally distributed. It's shared with music services. TV audio is being fed to them. ARC audio is being fed to them. You're already in control system territory. Like there is nothing. I mean, prior to the remote release, the only option that you had with HDANYWHERE was uControl and our app. And I've been to properties where I've seen the entire thing run on the app, and I'm like, wow, don't these guys want the remote? But they're now prime candidates for remote, because the remote will be low cost enough and easy enough to deploy that you could be in and out in less than 30 minutes. Yeah. Maybe there you go. Here's your new remote for your living room. 30 minutes done, and you're out with HDA. It's almost self-managing the system because it's a lot simpler, and we are focused on delivering the AV part and then the mood. You know, it's simple and therefore easy to deploy and easy to sell, I think, too.
But again, there's the opportunity for integrators as well, is that a potential client or customer that just wanted AV distribution, the upgrade path that they can be offered now with relatively low cost to go, we can go that one step beyond just AV. We can go to a smart home experience without a major challenge, without a major cost change. There are it suddenly opens up a broader range of potential customers and people that could benefit from the smart home technology delivery that we can offer.
Well, people know, not all people necessarily know they need AV distribution.
No.
But I'm damn sure more people know they want the technology neatened in their homes. And people want neat spaces.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that we hang our hat on, in that our products, and you don't necessarily have to use anyone else's, will deliver a neatened technology space.
And make it easy to use.
And make it easy to use. Whether you want our remote, Alexa voice control, a mix, so that you can have that as well as that.
Yeah.
You can have app for when you can't find your remote. You can have an app for when you're in a room that doesn't have a remote. You can trigger sequences with Rayco keypads if you've got Rayco lights.
Yeah.
You can trigger a sequence with a voice command.
As you walk into the house, your Apple Watch, get the house going. Yeah.
And that sort of demo is what we're going to have here at our HQ.
Yeah.
And any integrator home technology professional, installer, smart electrician, smart
Prosumers even.
Yeah, welcome to have a demonstration here
Yeah.
in Malvern if they want to come.
And we have a series of training dates and a whole training program. And training's the wrong word because our product is so simple. It's not really training. It's more just awareness. It's like, look, this is what you can do with it. This is how to do it. All good. Great. Here's some biscuits.
Yeah, the good biscuits.
Got to be good biscuits. Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
There's a fixation with biscuits in this country.
So I think we've probably covered everything off in a bit of a random order, but that's fine.
I think there's a lot of bookmarking and chaptering required for this podcast.
We have a secret weapon called the Colton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So join us at ISE, booth 3Q200. Can't wait to show you what we're doing. We are going to change everything. Remote control changes everything. Come see what we do. Stay tuned. And we'll be back.
Get in touch. Ask us questions if you have any.
Yes.
On all the media channels.
Yes, all the media channels. Head to HDANYWHERE.com for more
We
information.
have TikTok. We have TikTok now.
We do. We've actually had TikTok for a while.
Have we?
We have. From everyone here at HD Anywhere.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Thank you for another amazing year. It's been absolutely stunning, and we can't wait to share our adventure with you next year.
Absolutely.
Christmas.
Okay, time to go.
Yeah. If he's singing, we're out.
Christmas.
Ciao for now. The thing